using the Lord's name in vain. And I do have faith. I'm just not, I guess you could say, the strongest believer as others. Okay. If you want to know my religious conflictions, you'd have to PM and talk to me on that. But just know I got respect to everybody's religion. And just people of religious faith need to learn to respect each other. But anyway, going back to the music. But in my time, though, our bands were woke. Y'all talk about y'all's culture's woke. And our bands were woke. Like Korn. Korn was making a lot of music that was showing a lot of the destruction and dysfunction in families, especially white families. I'll say it again, white people. Yeah. But you also had bands like Godsmack, Marilyn Manson, Disturbed. I know there's a lot more that I'm missing throughout this era, but there were a lot of collabs too, and a lot of good artists, you know. A lot of good R&B too. And you just don't have none of that no more. And but and I'll say music with a meaning, like DMX. DMX had a lot of value in his music. Tupac did too. So did Biggie. Their music had a message to it. It had meaning. It wasn't promoting you to, you know. Well, I could say there might be a few songs that was, you know, promotion. Well, not really promotion. It was just, you know, the story of what was going on in the black community. And right now, and they were trying to warn y'all about what's killing the black community. And now they're using what was killing you and keeping you in place and using that in the music industry today. I know if you see this list right here, this is some of the music that I listen to, and who I feel like has some actual meaning to their music. They actually have a story to tell, and there's truth to it. It's not garbage that's going to fill your head, you know, just full of, I guess, emotionally unstable thought. Okay. But back in my younger days of 17 and 18, you know, 16, you know, I listened to Pastor Troy, Project Patch, Jay, Plies, Drama, quite a few other ones. I was just trying to jot down some that, you know, I know some of these young folks probably ain't never heard of. But that's one of the things that's really the destruction to the black community. But that's also another one of the things that keeps the destruction there. It's what helps these people thrive and make the music and keep the racial separation and keeps us from really coming together, because like I said, in my generation, and I felt like that from what I see now and a lot of the lies being told, I feel like we were better off as relations and race. Another thing that I wanted to get to as well, there's a shit ton of videos of Cardi B crying about her taxes and how much she gets taxed and stuff like that. She made a ton of them. And Cardi B, I just want you to know, they're going to raise your taxes, chica. Okay? Yeah. You were crying about them then. I hate to see what happens whenever your dumb ass goes up there. And I want to see the new videos once you get in there and they raise the taxes. That's what I want to see. My optimistic feeling and thought is Democrats are going to have to do some hellacious cheating to beat Trump. I mean, that's why they're pushing this racial pandering shit so hard. She was also talking about just wanting black people not to get killed like they are, you know, and I can understand that. But we're all missing the major message. Some of it has to be with accountability, and I guess a little bit is some ego trip, you know, having that much power and authority, you know, because you're, as a law enforcement officer, you're a life changer. You have the discretion. You know what I'm saying? I've had my run-ins with the law. By the time I was 21, I done did 3 years in prison. Also, if I count up my complete total county time, I've did 11 months in county. I'm not going to speak on what my charges was, but in South Carolina, I got what they called a youthful offender intensification program. I also had to do 6 years of parole. And I'm gonna just give some of the thinking about, you know, accountability and stuff like that. You know, you're talking about wanting to have accountability and justice from law enforcement. Y'all are protesting body cams, okay? The reason why I'm going to point out that to you. Here you go. Protesting for removal of body cams for law enforcement. ACLU suing to remove police body cameras. Here's a new one, too. ACO of Oregon files lawsuit against Portland PPB over video live streams of protest. There's who it's by, the date. Okay? And you're talking about having accountability, but on the same end, you're trying to destroy every narrative for accountability. You're allowing Democrats to use figures from the music industry that's promoting your own death. Okay? And then you're also cheering on the age group, and this part here, that have been raised on the generation of Vine, training you to have a 6-second attention span. Okay? And World Star. The reason why I say it, and I'm talking about that too, is because Joe Biden was bragging about the bravery of a 15-year-old boy to sit there and record what was going on with George Floyd. That's how he said it. He was talking to Cardi B about it. Okay? So they're pandering to the World Star mentality, where instead of actively trying to do something, and I'm not talking about just jumping in and assaulting the police and shit like that. I mean, I can understand, you know, recording that. But you're promoting also, too, when you have instances that are happening between civilians, whenever, instead of recording it, help the people. Okay? So there's that reverse psychology to the mentality here. On a generation that was raised on a 6-second attention span in Common Core education. And you're wanting them to vote and then even arguing for reducing the voter age. And once you get down there to reduce the voter age and the so-called rights and stuff like that, like I said, what other things you think they're going to try to pander for? Okay? They're already pandering and exploiting the sexuality of females through Cardi B's music with WAP. And if you're a man and you're trying to, I guess, speak out on that, or, you know, trying to discuss the, I guess, because I've got 3 younger sisters, you know, I do have a daughter, and if I were to walk in on my 14-year-old, 12-year-old, I mean, anything under the 18 doing some shit like that and grinding on her boyfriend to this song. Well, you think I ain't gonna beat someone's ass? But this is the type of shit that they're promoting. And this is the toxic element to the black community. This is what promotes single mothers, because you're having or creating the mentality for these children that don't even know how to take care of them themselves. Okay, and then you're promoting also the abortions, so they don't learn any accountability for their actions. It's a friggin' excuse. That's why you see them, what they're doing in all these riots. You've got this generation so screwed up. You've radicalized an entire generation. And not just white kids or black kids, it's just a whole generation. And I feel bad for them. I really do. And I ain't got no room to talk because my life is just as fucked up. Okay? I done tried to go back to school twice. I got my GED, but I was trying to go to college. I held over almost a 4.0 for a while. And financial stability for any family is a foundation to success. Race has nothing to do with it. Because if you were to experimentally go for a family of each race and give them the exact same income, depending on habits and mental issues, would really dictate on how their outcome would be. Because our government not only raised these dum-dums, okay, but they didn't raise them to be engineers or entrepreneurs or thinkers, innovators, creators. No. They created a generation of victimhood consumers that are sexually exploited. Why do I say that too as well? It's because look at all the apps. Like TikTok. Just a bunch of young, underage girls dancing half naked sexually. Instagram's just as bad. And while our government and our politics pander this racial bullshit, they're feeding you this healthy diet of destruction. And then want to turn around and say, blame it on racism. Blame it on racism. It's really sad. Battery's going low. I'm going to have to get done with this. And yes, there is some racism. And I kind of want to quit using that term of racist, because that was a derogatory term created just for white people. And if you feel like America created slavery, you need to go back to history class. I've got a history book in there for you. I've got a psychology book. I got quite a few other educational books. Official books that you have to have for college. But if we as citizens don't take our lives back, because you're being ran by algorithms. Everybody's connected by the phone. Everybody's on their phone. Everybody's information's being tracked. And like I said, Snowden tried to warn us. And there was also another documentary put out about Shadowgate. And if you don't know what that is, you need to go look that one up. Because the FBI ain't too long ago arrested the girl that did the documentary. So if there wasn't some real shit there, they wouldn't have fucked with her. So they can scream fake news and conspiracy theories all they want. If what Snowden was saying wasn't true and it was all conspiracy theory, Russia wouldn't be hiding him right now. And you think that's probably why the Democrats are screaming Russia? Snowden happened under Obama. Snowden happened under Obama. But Obama didn't create it, though. No. A lot of the foundation for what Snowden exposed happened around 2001, 9/11. So, there's a lot of restructuring that we need to do. There's a lot of this PC culture that needs to be removed. There's a lot of extremists that need to get out of the education system. There's a lot of extremists that need to get out of politics. And we need to start taking our country back. We need to start bringing production and manufacturing back to this country. The safety of this country. Because idle hands is the devil's playground. And whenever these politicians started selling us out to foreign interests, what did you create? What did you give us? We ain't got nowhere to fucking work. And you talking about getting an education. Like I said, while you're training us to be victims and consumers, you've got other countries milling out rocket scientists, doctors. I mean, this is thanks to the politicians, because they don't want to speak the truth. They want to fill their fucking pockets. But I'm going to stop for right here. And it'd be grateful if somebody gave me an answer back or voiced an opinion. Because I've got a lot I could go on to some of this stuff. But I see I've been over here 45 minutes already. I'd highly doubt anybody's going to watch it this long. But I love my country. I love my people in the country. I love the people that come to this country legally. That are looking for a better life, a better future. And are willing to work with fellow citizens to improve this country. Not turn this country into what they ran from. But to be an example and give examples of what to do and what not to do. And to help identify the toxic elements creeping in our country. Communism, Marxism, anarchist. I knew all about that shit in high school, and that's what happened. Is it looked interesting and it was nice. I was that same type. Hated government, hated the law enforcement. That's why I said I feel bad for this generation. Because I've changed a lot. I hope they can too. And I hope we can fix this before it's too late.